Welcome, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV magazine. We have a great lineup tonight. We've got a Hall of Fame coach and Danny Broussard from, they call it STM, St. Thomas More and Lafayette basketball. Yeah, basketball, man. Look, I got a football shirt on. We got basketball. We got football. I got TJ Finley coming on, the LSU commit from Ponchatoula. Look, it's not just strawberries in Ponchatoula, man. They got some great football. His little brother's going to come on, too. We're going to also talk about Kody Finley, who's only a sophomore, a big-time player. A.L. Williams is calling in, Terry Bradshaw's coach, and Lyle Mouton. You got to remember Lyle Mouton. We're going to tell you who he was. If you're not 40 and over, he was a great basketball player in his time at STM, and he was an LSU baseball player. We'll be right back.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even a vowel. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back to Louisiana Football TV magazine. Really excited to be back with our first live show of the season. I mean, it's football season. Again, I got my football shirt on. Every week we're going to have cameos with other sports. I mean, I love baseball and basketball. I ran track. I played all four. Wasn't very tall, but I actually could shoot the ball back in the day. In football, obviously. But, you know, we're going to show people that we can bring on the best guests for all four sports. And eventually, who knows, we'll probably have to change the name down the road a little bit there. But my first guest is a legendary high school basketball coach that grew up in Vermilion Parish and a little town, Leroy, Louisiana, which is by Abbeville, 20, 30 minutes from Lafayette. He's won 4 state championships, 3 runner-ups, several Final Fours, which is incredible, at St. Thomas More High School in Lafayette. He's got great defensive teams. We'll talk about that in a minute, but without saying any more, I mean, there's a book to talk about, but let me welcome Danny Broussard to our show. Danny, thanks for joining us.
I'm joy to be here. Thank you for having me.
You were the first, we're making history. You're the first high school basketball coach to be on the show.
Wow. Hey, let me tell you a little bit about football. You didn't know this. I coached football my first year at STM.
I didn't know that.
I coached the freshmen. Unfortunately, not only did we not win a game, Lee, we didn't score a single point that year.
And they took you off the roster?
Well, when the next year started, I said, hey, Jake, when I started coaching football, he goes, oh, I didn't tell you. We got somebody to take your place.
Oh, no.
So I was one and done in football.
Give that man a basketball. You know, there's a lot of great basketball coaches in the state. Gary Dewey was coached many years, still does. Lots of great players come out of Louisiana. Carl Malone. You talked about back in the day, you played against Carl Malone. Did you have to do a tip? You said you had the jump ball?
1977, we played against Summerfield High School. Carl Malone's an 8th grader. And back in the day, Lee, when you had a jump ball, you wouldn't go to the possession hour. You had to jump it. Me and Carl Malone in the center circle jumping 6'5". I just kind of looked up there and said,
what'd you do, hit his chest while the ball went up?
I just jumped about a foot off the ground. He won that tip.
The smoothest 6'9" shooter for the Jazz many years. And him and John Stockton, I know a little basketball. They were really good. two great players for many years.
I tell you, it's funny you bring up John Stockton. We're going to think we talked about this before the show.
No.
Funny you bring up John Stockton. He was his rookie year. I don't know what year that was. His rookie year with Utah, they played an exhibition game at the Cajun Dome. This promoter got the Rockets and Utah to come in. They brought in a guest speaker because we sold so many tickets, and I'm thinking, man, I'm going to get
big name.
Yeah, big name. Here comes a guy I never even heard of him. Can you believe it? Gonzaga? He said, I'm from Gonzaga. I thought Gonzaga was in Washington D.C. I didn't even know where it was. I never forget this, Lee. He told our guys sitting there. He said, they took a chance on me. I'm a rookie. I'm going to prove Utah right. I'm going to make this squad.
Come on.
And now he becomes the all-time assist leader in the NBA, and he was in our gym.
Isn't that amazing? That's a great story.
Yeah.
You know, TJ Finley that's coming on later, he plays a little basketball now. He's committed to LSU as a quarterback, but, you know, at 6'7" and some change, he's got a little game. He said he can shoot the three. We're going to ask him, see if Kody can guard him, his brother, who's about 6'5". What do you think of that height on these two guys? You need a forward?
We could use either one of them because we have nothing close to that size.
So let's talk about last year, Danny.
Yeah.
You won your 4th state title.
Yeah.
I watched it, and getting a ham sandwich, I don't know what I was doing,
Right.
but I was in the living room like, man, I got to watch this game. And I mean, you had like some linebackers for defense on that team.
Yeah.
You had 10 football players on your program.
We do. We had 6 on our varsity squad last year, and one of our football guys, Jack Besh, made 3 big steals in that game.
Great player in football.
Yeah, he's going to be he's going to be a recruit for wide receiver. He's really good. I think he caught 9 catches Friday night for over 100 and something yards. He's going to be special. He's special in basketball. Like I said, got 4 steals. So we were very defensive minded last year. We didn't have very many shooters, and that's what it took to win that game last year.
Down by 14 or so at half, and 13-14 with like 4 minutes left. They're going to overtime.
Yep, double overtime.
Double overtime,
Right.
and
made
every 3 you needed to make and every key defensive play.
Yeah, it takes a special moments to win a state championship. You got to have a little bit of luck. Lee, they have 2 free throws with 2.6 seconds left. The kid was like 5 for 6 before those 2 free throws. Missed the first one. We tried to ice him, called a little timeout. Missed the second one. And that's kind of when I thought Lee at that time. I said, you know what? This might be our night. I didn't feel it all the game long, but he missed 2 free throws. I said, you know what? This might be our night. And sure enough, in double overtime, we pulled away 1 by 5.
De La Salle, they had a Jalen Ned. They had a lot of good players on that team.
Really good players. Yeah, really good team that we beat. We were very fortunate.
And look, the Besh kid, his uncles are Brett Besh, who played for the Saints and LSU, and Blaine Besh that played. Blaine Besh is the strength coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
That's right. It's exactly
what a family.
Right. It's an athletic family. I told everybody last year as a sophomore, he's the best athlete in our school as a 10th grader. So, yeah, he's a special athlete.
Before we take a break, your thoughts. I mean, a lot of coaches watch the show. Basketball does help football. Football helps basketball. They work hand in hand.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we had Caleb Holstein last year, our starting quarterback. Gave us some great minutes last year. Hit some big threes for us. It's kind of funny. We kind of talked about that off air. He's more of a forward than he is inside game. But hey, it doesn't matter. We can shoot the threes, and he rebounded well enough and did a good job for us. He's got 2 state championship rings, Lee.
Yeah, and I watched Andrew Whitworth play basketball at West Monroe in the playoffs against Catholic High. You knew he wouldn't be a basketball college player, but man, it made him so agile.
Yep.
It made his hand coordination.
Absolutely.
You know, his vertical. I mean, that's why he's, 17 years in the NFL for the Rams. He's still in the league and almost 40 years old as a tackle.
Tackle, yeah.
And he's still in great shape. He's 6'7", 325, and runs a 4.8 at almost 40 years old. Is that incredible?
Yeah, I love
those
guys.
He had 18 rebounds in the game.
18,
no points.
18 rebounds and no points. I'll take that any day.
Those little Catholic, I mean, they were like, nope, we don't want any part of this guy. Because he was 300 then.
Yeah, wow, yeah. No, I love the physicality they bring to the game, you know. I mean, and that's what we did last year. We just tried to be physical and pressed all game long, and that's what won us the state championship.
Look, we're going to take a break. We got Coach Danny Broussard later in the show. We got TJ Finley and his brother Kody. We got A.L. Williams, the high school football coach of Terry Bradshaw of Woodlawn, not Baton Rouge, but Shreveport, and also Lyle Mouton, a famous St. Thomas More player. We're going to take a little bit of an early break here, and then we'll be right back.
Super E, we have a new client to sign. You need to fly out to meet them right away.
I'm on it. Up, anyway.
Okay, who closed these windows?
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Super E, we have a new client to sign. You need to fly out and meet them right away.
I'm on it. Up, anyway!
Okay, who closed these windows?
Welcome back to Louisiana Football TV magazine. We got head coach Danny Broussard from St. Thomas More and Lafayette, but we have a call-in from one of the greatest high school coaches, a legend. I'm very honored to say that we have A.L. Williams that's on the show, Terry Bradshaw's football coach, Joe Ferguson, Billy Laird played at Woodlawn, John Booty. A.L., thank you for calling in, and we're very honored that you call in.
Well, thank you, and I'm honored.
Talk about the Woodlawn days, A.L., all those great quarterbacks that you had in the 60s and 70s. You started, in 68, your state title with Joe Ferguson, but all that talent, and they say that you were the pioneer of the quarterbacks, that people back then didn't really like to throw the ball. They liked to run the ball back in those days.
Well, the throwing game became kind of I guess it was really, we couldn't run the ball. We were the third public white school. This was before integration. We opened in 1960, and Coach Hedges was the head coach, Lee Hedges, and I had the good fortune of being able to play under him, coach under him, and play under Coach A.L. and Coach Wilson and Coach Prendergast, and a guy named Coach Henderson coached me in 4 sports at Fair Park. So I was just at the right place at the right time when the right people came through, and very, very fortunate.
A.L.,
we started out, we didn't win a ball game the first year because Lee came from Bird, Lee Hedges, great guy, great coach, and he came over in the spring of 1960.
Okay.
And we put the staff together, and we started coaching the fall of 1960. Those juniors and seniors had the opportunity to stay at Bird or Fair Park because that's where they had begun their career.
Yeah.
And which was right, but we didn't have a letterman. We didn't have a 200-pounder.
Man.
We had about 30-something kids out, 37, I think, something like that. And we had been able to hire some people at the beginning of the year. Lee had come in the spring, and he would stay at Bird till school was out, and I would stay at Fair Park. I was at Fair Park. And we would stay until school was out there, and then we'd go try to put something together. And anyway, we not only didn't win a game the first year we were 0-9. We didn't score till the 5th or 6th ball game, so it doesn't get any worse than that.
A.L., let me ask you this. Terry Bradshaw and Joe Ferguson, it's hard to even choose who was the better quarterback. Those were two legends, right, Coach, that you coached?
Right. We
two
had
incredible players.
Of course, Laird and Prather were ahead of them.
That's amazing.
And Trey Prather went to LSU. He was an all-stater. Went down there and was killed in the Vietnam War. But anyway, he was a great one. He had 2 years of eligibility left and would have proven himself. I'm confident of that. But Terry stayed on the bench 2 years while he was there.
That's amazing, Coach, that Bradshaw was a backup for 2 years. That's truly and look, Terry Bradshaw was quoted as saying that you told your young quarterbacks to throw the javelin in the off season to improve arm strength, and that was a good idea way back. I mean, it seemed like it worked out.
Well, I was coaching track, and we had a all-state receiver ahead of Terry that was throwing the javelin, and he threw it, I think, 2.5. But Terry started throwing the javelin. Of course, he set the national record with 2:44.11 in 3 quarters.
Coach Williams, Coach Williams, Terry Bradshaw, was he you know, you watch him on TV, he's kind of out there a little bit. He's a little crazy. Was he wild back then in high school?
Oh, Terry never met a stranger in his life. And great guy. I mean, he's very, very exciting to coach. He would test you sometimes.
Well, A.L., that was my hero growing up. My idol was Terry Bradshaw and the Steelers. I love the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Me too.
Yeah, when I told him we were fishing one time, and he had graduated the year he graduated, and we were coming back, and he said, Coach, he had already signed with committed or Tech, whatever they had to do in those days. And he said, do you think I could possibly play pro ball? I said, Terry, if you go over there and work as hard as you did in high school. Of course, Lee Hedges was a head coach, and he worked with Terry at quarterback a lot. And he was as fine a coach as you can ever find. And I said, if you work as hard as you did and you develop like I think you will, I said, if Namath could sign for $400,000, you'll sign for $250 if you'll keep your head in the game and play like you want to play. Now, when it came down to play, he gave it 100% always. I mean, and he loved, he and Tommy Spinks, a receiver. Tommy went on to be an All-American over at Louisiana Tech with him as a receiver. Every time you look up, they were on the field with a ball. I mean, in the off-season, all the time. And, you know, they kept a football, and they really, really enjoyed playing the game. I said, if he can sign for that, you can sign for $250.
Well, I got to mention this, A.L., that you're originally from Haynesville. I got to get the Haynesville out there. That's an incredible community.
I grew up in Haynesville until I was 14, and up there, you know, it's football. There's nothing else.
Right. Coach, with the 3 minutes left, there's so much I want to talk about, but you were the head coach at Northwestern State. You played at Tech, was a great player there. And what is your memories with Louisiana Tech and Northwestern State? Two great places, great campuses, and any memories that stick out with those two colleges for you?
Well, certainly that was the developing part of mine. I had not played but 1 year in high school varsity football. I played B team a year, and Tommy Davis, Rogers Hampton, Don Stinson, and Joe May, all 4 went to major colleges and did well. And they were starting, and I backed up Hampton. And but anyway, I started the next year, and Tommy was a great, great player. And so anyway, we won the state championship, and I went to Tech. And Coach A.L. was probably the finest coach I've ever seen, known, or had any dealings with. But he was brilliant. He was a great guy, and the players always were first with him. And we had real good teams over there, and we had great players that I played with. Anything that happened with me was a result of what I had playing ahead with me and helping me through it. But I learned to play as a team. Always, you know, it was always a team situation. It wasn't this individual stuff. And we were able to, you know, I guess get that through to our kids.
And Coach, before we go, I got to get your thoughts. Northwestern State's playing LSU, your old school, and they're coming to Tiger Stadium. Any thoughts on that before we go?
Well, this is not the year for that. I saw them both the other day, and I tell you, LSU is really, really strong this year. I think they're going to have a great, great year. Tech is not that strong. Hopefully they'll do okay, though. But I couldn't have gone to a better place, or I couldn't have been associated with better people. And we did have the great quarterbacks, but they spent the extra time working at it. They bought into the system. We threw because it was an equalizer to us. We didn't have the size, the strength, and the speed to do it with. So in order to be able to do some things, we started throwing. And we got heavily into it, and we started the reads, and with Ferguson, he started 38 ball games for us, and we won 34 of them. He said we just really opened up one night because we didn't think we could beat them any other way. Airline won the state championship, and we were playing them, and we came in. I told the coaches we got the game plan ready, but we're not going to, go in and say, look, we're going to do this or that, but I'm not going to force us to it. If we throw, we have a chance to beat them. And they said, let's do it, and we threw 48 times.
Man. Well, Coach, we have to go, but, man, I really appreciate it and very honored to have you on today, and I'm glad all those youngsters can remember about all the great players, back in the 60s and 70s, and how important you were and all the coaches at Woodlawn and Tech and all during that was a special era. And again, thank you for calling in to the show.
Well, we had great people. Like I said, we had Bobby Hebert at Northwestern and Northwestern. I loved every place I've ever been and enjoyed it so much. And the people and the fans and the players, I couldn't have had a greater career. So I certainly thank y'all.
Thank you, Coach A.L. A.L. Williams, one of the great coaches in the state. And who coaches 5 quarterbacks, 2 of the best ever to play in the NFL from one high school, and one had the other one on the bench for 2 years. Is that incredible? And had 5 D1 quarterbacks in a row over a decade. Incredible. We're going to take a break. We're going to have Lyle Mouton call in and join 2 STM guys. We're going to talk to them. And later in the show, Kody Finley and TJ Finley, brothers from Ponchatoula, the LSU quarterback commit for 2020. We'll be right back.
When I tore my ACL, I didn't think I'd ever be able to play soccer again. My doctor told me how important physical therapy would be, so I chose Peak. I'm glad I did. Now I'm stronger, faster, better than ever. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV magazine. I wish I could have had Coach A.L. Williams on much longer, Danny. What a legend, man.
Man, tell you what, I bet he has some stories, huh?
I mean, we could have talked an hour about Tech, an hour about Northwestern. Terry Bradshaw could have been about a year, Joe Ferguson. But without waiting any longer, a gentleman that you know and one that I followed over the years as a baseball player at LSU, MLB baseball, great outfielder, great athlete at St. Thomas More, played basketball. Lyle Mouton. Lyle, thanks for joining the show with me and Danny Broussard.
My pleasure.
Lyle, what is it like to look back at your career and see where the game has gone in baseball and basketball? And you had a chance to do, for a short time there, you did basketball at LSU too.
Correct. It's been enjoyable to watch the maturation of both sports. I mean, kids are now, bigger, stronger, faster, have all the amenities and resources to improve themselves, understand the game. It's just great from a past player, now a fan, to see that happen.
You still keep up with, obviously, your old high school, STM and LSU? You still keep up with the The memories and just how they're doing?
Most definitely. It's easy with St. Thomas More when your coach is the social media director. So you get to hear and see all the great things that are happening over there.
Danny says hi. Here's right here.
Hey, Buster, I wish I was doing that back when y'all were playing back then. You'd have gotten a lot more exposure, huh?
Most definitely. It's a gift and a curse, because they know more about you. So maybe there's some things I want to keep hidden.
Lyle, when did you know you were going to be a baseball player, not a basketball player? And tell kids who watch the show and parents. I mean, you had that football body too, but I mean, you had a lot of choices coming out of high school of where you could have, continued with sport.
Well, my interest was to play both sports in college. That was part of one of the recruiting requirements that I demanded. I didn't know that I was going to officially give up basketball and concentrate on baseball until my end of my sophomore year of college. So I played both sports throughout that time, and I recommend parents to allow your kids to play multiple sports. It gives them a little bit of rest because each sport requires a different aspect of conditioning and muscle use, as well as it gives them a break and they don't get burnt out. I know there's other sides of the coin that say, oh, kids should specialize and he's going to be behind other kids. I don't believe that statement. I believe that, training yourself in different aspects will improve the things that you can do in a sport that you think is you're dominant.
Lyle, tell everybody what you're doing now because, fans at LSU might want to know, where is Lyle now? What's Lyle doing now?
Well, I still reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. I currently work for Coke Florida, which is a former STM teammates company, Troy Taylor, who's CEO, chairman of the board of the local bottler for the entire state of Florida.
Wow.
I am the security specialist for the Coke Florida operation.
Man, you've really done well, man. We're proud of you. And
Lyle, I just want to say, also as as your former head coach, and proud of what you've done. You're an ambassador for St. Thomas More, and thanks for what you've done. And not only you are a great basketball player, but you're a great person, and appreciate our friendship. Like you said, we text and talk every month. Lyle and I, we've kept in touch, and enjoy the friendship with you.
And Lyle, we need more 6'4", 6'3" outfielders playing baseball 210. You don't see that many anymore.
That's a dying breed. That size or dimensions. And the funny thing is, my team of 1990 and 1991 had very large players, not just in the outfield, but all through the team. I don't know where they're going. I guess they're concentrating on being in Death Valley rather across the street at the Diamond.
And then you got every now and then an Aaron Judge who's 6'7", 6'8". So every now and then.
Correct.
Lyle, thank you, man, for joining us, and appreciate you taking the time to call in. And I'm sure the parents and kids really appreciate hearing the message, and I'm sure that'll do a lot of good for these kids coming up. Thank you, Lyle.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Thank you. And, Coach, we got some time before the break, but name your favorite former high school football player and the most favorite basketball player of all time that you've coached.
That I've coached?
Not talent-wise.
Not that well. Brandon Mouton played for University of Texas, went to the Final Four, guarded Carmelo Anthony in the Final Four.
Mouton?
Mouton. It's a Mouton.
Mouton.
It's a Mouton thing. We have a lot of Moutons at STM.
Okay.
Eric Mouton was a pretty good player as well. We've had a lot of Moutons come through there, but Brandon was a special athlete. You knew it right when he came as a freshman. He was going to be special, Yeah. And football, I don't know. The hard to.
Mikey Matuk?
Mikey Matuk was a darn good football. Matter of fact, I get kid him all the time. He should have stayed play basketball. I might have won another state championship if he'd have stuck it out. But he was a good baseball and football player.
The late Rocky Selfo was a good one.
Rocky Selfo was an awesome player.
Javon Walker,
NFL
the
guy.
Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hey,
well, you know your stuff, man.
Yeah.
You're up on the talent.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we got Coach Broussard again. We're gonna have some pictures. We're gonna see all kind of good pictures of his team and him with a lot of famous people, everybody but the governor, I think. We'll be right back.
I'll leave for a little while, and all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. No issues even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident.
The E-guarantee.
And as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen. I hope you're enjoying the show. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Danny Broussard played against Karl Malone. People got to remember that, right? 4-time state champion. A.L. Williams, one of the greatest high school coaches of all time in Shreveport. When he went to Fair Park from Haynesville. I got to make sure the Haynesville people get all over me. But he grew up in Haynesville. TJ Finley's calling in, one of the top quarterbacks in the United States. His little brother's one of the top sophomore wideouts in the United States, Kody. That's going to be later in the show. These guys are good kids, and we want everybody to know about them in the United States. But let's go ahead. We want some pictures we're going to show of Danny Broussard, all the people. And look, when was this, Danny?
That's probably about, I don't know, look.
82? Your first year?
No, come on now. That's about 5 years ago.
This guy by you's like, what are we going to do?
That's my assistant right there, Wesley Cortez. I've been blessed with some great assistant coaches.
He's like, you
great
do it. You make the call. You make the call.
I can tell you what that is. That guy just missed the 2 free throws, and I said, second overtime, I think we got this one right here. This is our game.
Dude,
yeah, pretty fired
one
up.
of those deals. And this is getting the trophy.
That's actually 2013. What's interesting about that picture, look to my left, to the right of the picture, my brother Ricky was a State Farm agent and got presented the trophy. That was kind of special back in at Monroe. That was when we won it at Monroe, 2013.
Yeah, they switched it around, and
I'm just trying to direct her a little bit. I think she's missing a few calls. Just trying to point out.
No technical fouls.
I don't think I got one this game.
Don't give me a technical.
I didn't get one this game.
We were in his own American Idol.
Yeah, so I was on American Idol because of my guy. Mackenzie Borg. I'm not the singer.
Okay.
I just helped him promote it.
You rode with him.
But yeah, that's right. Mackenzie Borg made it to the Final Four on American Idol.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Boy, you're intense on this one.
Yeah.
Did that one work out?
Yeah. I think this is during the Sunkist shootout right here.
Okay.
Championship game of the Sunkist.
You know, hoping looks like a little Will Wade right there walking around.
Trying to just keep me excited
keep
about
it going,
the game.
Play defense.
There's
Mikey
Mouton.
Mikey still with Detroit Tigers.
Still, Detroit Tigers. He's
great player. And this is Will Wade. Huh?
Oh, Will, yeah. He came to Lafayette tour.
Yeah, he's tall. He's a pretty tall guy.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty short too.
Yeah, but
it's a little contrast.
About 6'3".
That's Big Coach O, huh?
Yeah,
Big Coach O. Yeah, he's a great guy, man. I love Coach O. Glad what a game Saturday night.
Texas,
huh?
man.
Wow, what a game.
What an offense.
Yeah.
And here we go.
These are two of my guys. It's Don Higginbottom, State Farm agent, and Coach Fisher. Coached years and years ago. They came to our grandparents' mass on Sunday, and I got to see them there.
Yeah, and there's some great pictures. Just pictures speak 1,000 words, as they say, of people. And, we've got a little time left. Let's see if we can run. Oh, what are you doing? You're actually.
The floor got a little wet and needed a little time. My guys were getting a little tired.
Okay.
So I was just kind of taking my time, wiping that
floor.
You saw
it, though.
Yeah, to give our guys a break right there.
You know, that is a dangerous part of the game, though, man. You got to watch that water.
Yeah, it is. And this is 2 years ago, the state championship 2 years ago, up at Burton Coliseum.
And y'all won it back to back.
Back to back, yeah.
17 and 18.
18-19.
18-19, yeah.
Yeah, and this is this past year, 19. Which again come down by 13 in the last quarter.
Do they let you keep those at your house? You got to keep them at the school.
I have them for the house. Don't worry.
Now, as a coach,
what
do you consider yourself more of a defensive coach, Zone, man-to-man, what is your main?
Yeah, it's kind of funny, Lee. When I started off, I was nothing but man-to-man. And give you a little Baton Rouge background. Redemptress High School came in.
Howard High C. Carter.
Yeah, now that was after Carter
Derek
left, but they
Taylor.
were still good. It was the tail end,
Yeah.
but they were still good. We were playing in a playoff game, and we were playing man-to-man, and they were eating us alive. And at the time, my assistant was Kim Broussard, who's my AD now.
Okay.
Kim said, Coach, maybe we should try a zone. I said, zone? I said, Coach, they're killing us in man-to-man. How are we going to stop in zone? Well, sure enough, we go to a 2-3 zone. And I'm telling you, they were a whole different ball club. Wound up winning that game by 1 point. And that was my first state championship, 1986. And that was the closest game we had throughout the whole playoffs. Wow. So I learned back then, you know what? You better be ready for everything. And sometimes a zone is your best thing. And so we've kind of adapted our 1-2-2 matchup zone. It's been pretty good for us, Lee, because we don't have the most speed, the most athleticism.
Y'all play defense, though, too.
We guard a little bit now, full court. We press a little bit. We're a pressing team. But our 1-2-2 matchup has been really good because it's forced teams to shoot from the outside, and we do a pretty good job of blocking out and rebounding, only giving them one shot. So our zone's been kind of our staple.
I know you got some young guys, but I noticed a young guy by the name of Shelvin.
He's a pretty special player.
What you think of his
MVP
future?
as a sophomore, MVP of the state championship game last year as a sophomore.
6'5"?
No, not quite
6'4"?
yet. He's more 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". But, yeah, he's kind of got a complete game. Kind of can shoot it. He needs to get a little bit better on his outside shooting, but he can make some threes and he can get to the rim. He made unbelievable plays in that state championship game in last year, as we talked about, that 13-point coming from behind. Mm-hmm. He made some really big plays in that game, some big steals, made some layups, made a three. We had the kid, Reese Malonzo, who missed most of the season. He had 5 threes in that state championship game. That's the most he had all year long.
Wow.
Yeah, but it took that kind of effort to win it, Lee.
What is your favorite basketball player to come out of Lafayette area ever?
Favorite player to ever come out of Lafayette? You put me on the spot. I can't, Lee. I got too many good players.
Maybe Andrew Toney.
Oh,
your
no,
favorite.
Yeah.
Your
oh,
favorite.
Yeah. I was thinking high school, college.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Bo Lamar and Andrew Toney. I got a chance. I went to school with Andrew Toney. We went to class together.
The USL.
At USL.
Not UL.
Not Lee. This is the only thing I don't like about Andrew. He graduated in 3.5 years, and it took me 5.
What?
I still can't figure that out.
And then he goes to 76ers to play with Dr. J.
The Boston Strangler.
And he was an all-star.
He was unbelievable. But Andrew, you know what, though? As good a basketball player as he was, Andrew was a great guy. I loved Andrew. We text every now and then. He's in Birmingham, Alabama.
He played what,
He's in
10,
Birmingham.
10 plus years in the NBA.
10 years in the NBA. He's a heck of a player.
He was an incredible player.
Yeah, and then Bo Lamar was, I think if Bo Lamar played now, I think he'd have been in the NBA. It was kind of a small guard. They didn't shoot the three-pointer wasn't as big back then.
Right.
Now they'd love him. He'd be a great NBA player.
What do you think of Milwaukee in the NBA for next year? Maybe making noise with the Greek.
I
thought
they'd make more noise this year, to be honest with you, but they were probably a year away. Yeah.
I mean,
but hey, watch out for our Pelicans now.
Oh man,
I love the Pelicans. I love the guys we got.
Williamson, and then
they're going to be good.
I mean, the other guys are good.
The Lakers guys we got are good. They're going to have a good team.
Is Boston going to come back anytime soon, or the Lakers?
Oof, I don't know about those. I don't know about those two teams.
Not the dominant years.
No, no doubt. No, the Lakers. They still got LeBron, so
Toronto
can't count them out.
Do it.
No,
they lost their top guy.
Yeah, no, they won't be nearly as good. But I'm not a big NBA guy, but I love having the Pelicans in the state. Hey, you people need to go support our Pelicans because they're going to be good.
We got to say this:
the
future of what do you think of UL basketball right now and LSU basketball?
I think they both. I think UL's got some good young players. I think they're going to be really surprised because they lost a lot, but they got some good young players. They're going to surprise a lot of people. And man, I was reading the paper. I didn't know any of those names when they went play overseas. Man, so evidently Will's got some bunch of good young players come in that I'm telling you, I didn't recognize any of these names. So
he redshirted a kid from New Jersey, Hyatt, who's 6'5", can shoot the threes, 220.
220. Wow.
He's like a small forward. He can play defense. I like Williams coming back from Florida. I think he's an undersized forward that can shoot. He's improved.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I think.
And the point guard from Scotlandville is incredible.
Smart's a good player.
Smart's going to be a great one.
He's a good player. So yeah, I think I was just going to make some noise in the SEC.
Any final thoughts on? Again, I wanted to let people know that football, basketball coexist. Coaches, let's all get along and let players play both sports. Lyle Mouton even said that.
I've been very fortunate. I've worked with Jacob Byler, my first coach I worked with. He was the AD. We had a great relationship. He gave me the break. He's the one that went to the principal and said, hey, I know he's only 22 years old, but he can handle being the head coach, and he gave me my opportunity. And then me and Jim Hightower get along really good.
You've been an S team since 1982.
37 years.
That's an accomplishment.
Oh, I started when I was 15. Let's get that straight now.
15.
I was only 15 years old when I started.
You didn't even have a light. Who brought you to school?
I walked 7 miles in the snow.
You didn't get on the bus. No. But Danny, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate
glad that we opened up the basketball end of it
with
football and the next two segments. You met these young men.
Yeah,
from
good-looking
Ponchatoula,
kid.
TJ Finley, Kody Finley. We're excited to have them come up in the next 2 segments. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to meet these young men from Ponchatoula High School.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back to Louisiana Football TV magazine. You know, when you look at recruiting, I'm an old school recruit guy. You look at kids who have some special talents. And tonight we have one of the great quarterbacks in high school football, TJ Finley, who has the strongest arm I've seen come out of Louisiana. Now, I didn't grow up when Terry Bradshaw was playing, and I didn't grow up, when Joe Ferguson was playing, or Burt Jones and all those guys. But in the last 30 years, the strongest arm I've seen is TJ Finley, and he's been compared to Jamarcus Russell, and I see that with the arm, because the arm, when you can be on your knee and throw it 60 yards as a spiral, you got a Jamarcus arm, TJ, right. And that's a compliment.
Yes, sir.
And then your little brother, introduce your little brother here. I mean, your little brother gets some airtime, and he's got 2 years left of high school.
Oh, yeah. This is something new for him, but I'm glad to have this opportunity to share with him. It's a dream come true to not only have one person in the family that's being recruited by every college in the country, but another, player in the country, that's just my younger brother. I spent time with him in the backyard just throwing balls, back and forth. So just to share this opportunity with him means the world to me.
Only a sophomore.
Yeah, only a sophomore.
People think he's a senior.
6'4", 180, only a sophomore.
He's one of your receivers.
Oh, yeah. He starts varsity this year in District 6-5A. We have a tough schedule this year, so, we're going to see what he's made of.
Now, I got to ask you this. As a kid, you have been called, everybody's called you.
Yeah.
You went to all these camps, Elite 11, you've been all over the country, your dad, your mom. You've talked to all these colleges. Everybody's got the same weight room. Everybody's got the same. It's all cookie cut.
Right, yeah.
What made you decide on LSU so early, and why LSU?
I wasn't big on LSU as a young kid. I was more of a style guy. So the number one school that popped out to me was definitely Oregon. Their uniforms were legit. Everybody wanted to go to Oregon. But as I grew up, as I matured, and I went to a lot of camps and stuff like that, and seeing the other parts of the world, other colleges, Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, Clemson, schools of that nature. I realized that I wanted to stay home just to be close to my family. My whole family is from Louisiana. Nobody, certain, family members moved out because of certain reasons, but majority of my family is from Louisiana. I want to see them and see them at my games, making sure I'm repping Louisiana.
Anything that comes to mind to you that's crazy in recruiting, like any coaches that are funny, humorous? Anything that sticks out to you? Any of these guys you've met?
Yeah, Coach O. He like Coach said. Yeah, he's one of the best coaches in the world to me. He's full of humor. Another coach that jumps out is Coach Les Miles. He's such a person, a people's person. You know, he does a very good job of recruiting, Coach Les Miles. He actually offered me in 8th grade when he was at LSU. You
and
know,
parents, he's good with parents.
Great, very good with parents. Him and my mom are like this. That's why a lot of LSU
told me that.
a lot of LSU fans were scared I was going to go to Kansas because of that. But
what do you eat in Kansas? What's the food in Kansas?
Honestly, I don't know. they gave me all my favorites, you know, on my official visit.
You can't get gumbo over there. Though.
No. Can't get, no etouffee, no fish, none of that.
No. Now you have the arm, you have the size. You're 6'7", maybe even taller than 6'7".
Yeah.
You're put together too. You even toned up your body. You've changed your body in a year.
Yes, sir.
So you know you're 240, what 245?
245, yes, sir.
Very solid. What do you want to work on to get ready? So when the season's over for college, what do you think TJ needs to work on the most?
Just adjusting, adapting from high school level, high school speed to college speed. You know, knowing that Joe Burrow is a senior or a graduate senior, so this is his last year that he's going to be there. You know, the coaches I'm well informed that this is an open job, open competition. You know, I know Miles Brennan is going to be there. He's going to be a junior, redshirt junior. So, you know, I'll be coming in with another 2020 guy, Max Johnson, and Peter Parrish. You know, we're all four going to compete for the starting position. But, you know, my main focus is controlling what I can control, controlling my side of the ball, controlling my side of, you know, my position, and just making sure I adapt, you know, from the high school speed to the SEC speed.
And you know what all kids see? That if you want to go to a winning program, everybody's got 3 good quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
So everywhere you go, whether it's Penn State, Florida, A&M, you know, it's crazy. People are talking about benching Kellen Mond after one bad game, right? That's how crazy college football can be. I mean, Kellen Mond put up 3,900 yards last year
absolutely.
and 40 touchdowns. So it's consistency, and we're talking about it before the air, but it's patience, too, at college because it's a whole new speed, right? At Ponchatoula, you play for the legendary Hank Turney. Archbishop Shaw. I've known him since I watched Ryan Clark and all those guys that played for him. And then Jim Gandarian is a friend of mine. Jim's a great guy.
A great guy.
He's been with Hank since the Shaw days.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does this team need to do? And I'm going to ask Kody this. I want Kody to get in on this. But Kody, you being a young sophomore, when you're on the sidelines with your brother and the offense leaves the field, the defense, young. The team is young.
Yes, sir.
You've got some receivers that look like you, but they're also young.
Yes, sir.
What's the key to this season for these guys to grow up? It's young, a lot of young guys playing.
Correct. I think the key is just playing as a unit and like building the connection with TJ. You know, everybody being on the same page, time management, keeping the defense, you know, off the field as much as possible so they can have breaks. But I think we will be fine if everybody just follow TJ and his guidance. We should be great this year.
The LSU game shocked me too. Now I knew the offense would be different. I knew Burrow was going to be amazing this year. He's starting to see it. And that's teaching and coaching and a guy that wants to work. All magic. And then Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and Terrace Marshall. And then they got Palmer. And then they got Devontae Lee. I mean, what do you see? It looks like, I mean, the building. We're going to take a break. I want to talk about this more. But when we come back, I want your thoughts on what you saw against Texas.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Super E, we have a new client to sign. You need to fly out and meet them right away.
I'm on it. Up, anyway.
Okay, who closed these windows?
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Super E, we have a new client to sign. You need to fly out and meet them right away.
I'm on it. Up, anyway.
Okay, who closed these windows?
Welcome back to Louisiana Football TV magazine. We have TJ Finley, quarterback, Ponchatoula, committed to LSU. His brother Kody Finley, only a sophomore, wide receiver, 6'4", and he's probably end up going to be as big as TJ and might end up being the biggest receiver in the state when you're done, man.
I hope.
Unless they try and throw you at quarterback before you finish, right?
No? Coach would never.
No? You going to stay wide out?
Yes, sir.
You know, I went to Ponchatoula's game last year, and I know TJ remembers that. I went to the Slidell game.
Yeah.
And I was there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I like to get there because I know Hank gets a little nervous at 6. And so I said, Hank, when can I come by? He said, come by at 5 o'clock. So I was there at 5. And I said, where's TJ? They said, he's right there. And you were outside the locker room. He said, I'm right here, man. What's going on? I said, I'm impressed with this guy. You know, he's confident. He's mature. I said, you confident for the game? And you're like, yeah, man, I'm ready to go.
Right.
And that was good. And then I got a chance to watch your little brother play a little bit that night as a freshman.
Right.
Getting back to LSU, they're playing Texas. It's number 6 against number 9.
Right.
You thought they were going to score that many points that night, LSU?
Not at all. You know, I was given I had to do a lot of interviews before the game, media and stuff like that. My actual, my prediction for the score was 24-21. I thought, you know, defenses was going to step up. I know, you know, Big 12 talk about where the real DBU, stuff like that. So I actually thought they were going to, you know, put up a tougher defensive battle, but, you know, they proved me wrong.
Man, Texas, if their defense was like their offense,
yeah,
they would be 1, 2, and 3 with Bama LSU. But
yeah.
What's wrong with Texas's DBs? I know Burrow's good,
yeah.
Man.
I'm not going to start any wars right now, but, you know, just, you know, they got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
You know, but they need to take them DBU shirts off. That's all I know.
Who have you become friends with on your visits, like to LSU? Anybody stick out that you've really bonded with?
Most of the receivers, Terrence Marshall, Jamar Chase, we've created bonds, you know, outside of football. You know, when they were seniors in high school, I want to say going into my sophomore year, we went to the opening camp in New Orleans a couple years ago, and I threw to them guys a little bit, you know, on and off and stuff like that. But other than that, me and Joe Burrow have talked a little bit, you know, after the games, before the games and stuff like that. So just bonds like that.
He's a big leader.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're seeing as a kid watching that leadership, all that goes in one, you know, hard work, learning the defenses, and when you get your playbook, when you finish in high school, you know, that's when it starts. You know, you become the grown man and the next guy up. So I remember we had Jamar Chase on last year, and him and his dad came on, and I remember Jamar wasn't even ranked highly, and I watched him catch balls in games. I'm like, that guy has the greatest hands.
Right.
And watching that kid do that against Texas, he caught some unbelievable passes.
Absolutely.
What'd you think of that, Kody? You're a young receiver.
I love to see it.
He was 40-inch vertical going up catching balls over those Texas. And he was looking at the DBs and saying, bring it on. You can't stop me.
That's what I love to see. I love a quarterback that throws it up and let the wide receiver, you know, do their job. But that was a fantastic catch. Great adjustment.
So we're going into week 2 high school football. Ponchatoula, y'all got a young team. Y'all had a hard, tough loss against Live Oak. He's got a good team. They run the ball a lot. What's the district like? It's still tough.
Yeah.
A lot of tough teams.
Yeah, the district, you know, we play Slidell, Covington, St. Paul's. Hammond is back on the map now. They have a lot of talent on their young team. But, you know, I like to focus on us. You know, like you said, we're a young team, but I feel like we have the pieces to be one of the best teams in the state. We have a young kid, Demontrell Osby. We call him Scrappy. He's one of the fastest guys in the state. You know, no college right now knows about him, but, you know, as he grows and matures and you know, really buy into the system, you know, he will be, I promise you, he will be one of the top players in the state when it's all said and done. But, you know, just as far as our team, you know, we're young, but as soon as we.
You're running back Braden Johnson.
Oh, Braden Johnson. He, 5'11", 210, you know, run the ball hard, can catch out the backfield. It's like a Christian McCaffrey, you know, that we got. So
utility guy.
Yeah, right.
So what do we talk about with the Saints, man? You see the game last night?
Oh yeah.
58-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Drew Brees' drive.
Yeah, Drew, he's amazing.
Isn't that magical?
I just, you know, just watching him, and that's why, you know, I strive to get like that time management, just knowing what to do, you know, when you get in certain situations is, you know, that's more mental. Like my dad always tell me, 80% mental, 20% physical. You know, he just knows everything about just everything.
Yeah, the thing about that game is, here's a guy that's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He came out of Austin, Texas. Texas, Mac Brown didn't even offer him a scholarship because he was 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
You got to find something in a kid, and that's what I love about recruiting. That's why I went to your game. I don't want to watch a film on TV.
Right.
You got to go there.
Exactly.
You got to meet the people. You got to meet the mom and dad. You got to get the feel of the atmosphere of the game. And if Coach Danny Broussard was on the set, he would agree with me. You gotta take it in.
Right.
And I think we're losing a lot of that in recruiting and all sports. Is that I think all college coaches need to stay on top of going to games and being a part of the community and getting to know everybody and not just off a highlight tape.
Right. Absolutely.
Any last words? Any on family? You want to shout out to anybody? TJ and Kody. TJ first.
Nah, you know, Ponchatoula, you know, that's all my love. Ponchatoula get all my love. Coach Hank Tierney, I want to shout him out. That's one of the best coaches, you know, in the history of the sport of football. You know, he's just, he loves everybody genuinely. You know, he doesn't want nothing out of anybody.
Cody, give a shout out to your mom and dad.
I wanted to shout out my mom and dad for getting me to where I am today, and also my brother. And I want to say all glory to God for, you know, this chance to be, you know, this young and have these many opportunities. And I want to pray for coverage over everybody on the football team.
Well said, man. Well said. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Injury-free season. Right. Win it all.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back next week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Lieber King, Louisiana Football TV magazine.